Okay, Miguel, now what we're going to do is we're going to take out basically our cutting bar there, our cutting stick. We're going to put in a smaller length. This would allow you to do a smaller length impact perf. So the top piece comes out comes the perf rule. We're going to take out our cutting stick. We have to unscrew the set screws first to loosen it up. Out comes our bar, which went all the way across the sheet. We're going to replace that. Hold on, Johnny. We're going to replace that with, they give you several different lengths of basically soft cutting sticks. You could cut these for whatever length you want. If we do a perf on one side of the sheet, it needs support on the other side. So we'll show you how to do that right now, because we're going to install this guy on the right hand side, just a small, and where the perf contacts the cutting stick, it will perf. Where it doesn't contact it, it will not perf. So what he's doing is he's going to line that up. I thought we were going to do the longer one. Let's do the longer one, Johnny. So it'll match up with the 8.5. There you go. See a little line there? Okay, this is a little bit of trial and error as far as lining up your perf with your sheet, but it's effective. And then what we're going to do to support the perf on the far side is we're going to put that small piece in all the way over, and that's going to support our perf. We're going to lock that down. Otherwise the perf, if it's only supported on one side, it would come down and you'd have a little jam. Okay, back goes the perf rule first, with the perf facing down. The center is right underneath the two air cylinders. And then on top of that is the pressure plate here, which has two cutouts for the perf cylinders. Okay, we're going to close our lid, and we're going to leave that same program in there, and we're just going to run a sheet. Okay, we had a double. Let's run another one. Okay, this time what we have is, instead of perfing all the way across the sheet, you want to tear it, Johnny? It's hard to see, but it only perfed where we had our perfed rule in our bottom cutting stick. I know you went a little too far there. And then we had our strike perf, which was on at 8.5 and off at 11/17. So there's your little cutout. Okay, one last thing to adjust, Miguel, would be these air regulators here. First of all, our compressor always stays at max, which is 125 psi. And then that's going to feed in to your two air regulators. Your first air regulator controls your creasing dies. We leave that guy at approximately 90 psi. Let's see if we can focus in on that. There you go. 90 to 100. And you can adjust for heavier stocks. You can move it up a little bit, but that's the range. You want it to be between basically 80 and 100, but we leave it right on 90. The second regulator is for the strike perf. We leave that on about 90 as well. And then you can adjust that with this solenoid valve here. This valve is what would control if you wanted a little bit more pressure on your strike perf. There's a little set screw here that you would loosen up. Loosen that guy up, and then you can adjust clockwise, gives you more pressure, and you tighten up your set screw. Okay, there you go. That's our Crease Master. I'm sure we'll be calling. And oh, one more thing would be the air suction pump for the feeder. Okay, so this nice Becker pump right here controls the feeder. Hold on, let me see if we can. So you've got air and a vacuum. This guy is the, which one is air? This is your air, and we want to run the air at about 90% of the max. And then you want your vacuum at about
10%.
10%. And then you can adjust. Obviously, you'd adjust, and you're familiar with this with some of your other machines. but you'd make minor adjustments. You want to leave that essentially on the same benchmark, but for lighter weight stocks or heavy stocks, you might make an adjustment down here. Otherwise, you wouldn't really have to touch that. Okay, Crease Master. Next one we're going to do is for the UV coater.